All right, we are getting set for the men's 1 meter final as our first diver is ready to go. Paul Yang from the Edmonton Kinsman Diving Club. He'll begin the event with an inward 1.5 somersault pike. And we were just looking at the scores from the prelims this morning. I guess an exceptional and a really good score to aim for anyone that's going to win this event here is right around 400, right? 400 points?
Yeah, getting up to 400 is like a sensational score on the 1 meter event. The prelim winner was around 360.
Right.
Decent score, but
it's a morning event.
Yeah.
You're not giving it your all out. So good start here for Paul with an inward 1.5 pike. A little bit short from the vertical, so get deducted for that.
Yeah, one of the lower degree of difficulty dives that we're going to see in this event. Most of the men in this event are going to be doing inward 2.5, so adding a somersault to that.
We like to call them boys because we've been around this.
It's all relative.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the inward 1.5, 2.4 versus the 3.1. Again, you're going to multiply by the 3 sort of counting judges we knock
That's
off.
Right. Out of 7 judges.
Scores, highs and lows, the top 2, bottom 2, until we're left with 3. Add those up, multiply by the degree of difficulty.
Here's Sam McAffrey, back 1.5 pike. Oh, wow, beautifully done. And, you know, it's not a hard dive. It's a 2.3 degree of difficulty, this one, but you got to show control while jumping high and know exactly where you are in the air.
And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Going in backwards, you've got to have the confidence to know where you are, orient yourself before you get a chance to even look and see where the water is. Sam demonstrating height and control, and that's where you see 8s. 8s being a really good score in diving. It is out of 10. Sometimes you compare it to gymnastics where they throw out 9.7s, 9.78s and all this. But remember, we only have half-point increments in diving.
We keep it a little simple, right?
It's simple and immediate.
Arno Corbay with a forward 2.5 pike, and he's one that had a really powerful warm-up to this event, so hopefully he can bring this into the competition, and that's a good start here.
Very strong. We've got a few 17-year-olds in this event, but largely divers that are actually out of age group in the men's 1 meter event.
Well, diving is one of those sports where if you have the ability to compete at the senior level, no matter how old you are, I think I can attest to that, you're allowed to compete in the event, right? So we're going to see a lot of divers that are still in their junior active years compete here at the Senior Winter Nationals.
One of Canada's more elegant springboard divers, Emmett, is going to do his forward 2.5 pike, the dive we just saw Arno.
Oh, very well done. And I'm going to be picky here with the entry in the water, but the form in the air, straight legs, pointed feet, we're going to see this all afternoon long from Emmett, that's for sure.
Yeah, just showing, you know, you can have straight legs and pointed toes, but when you see someone that just defines straightness in the legs and toe point, it just brings that extra dimension to the entry into the line. His pike position super tight and closed, kind of defining elegance for us in this event.
So 55.9 is the score on Emmett's first dive. Up next, Tasmin Abramovich.
Representing Saskatoon,
That's
but he's a Calgary boy. He grew up here.
I felt like you really needed to say that.
Is that important to give props to competing in your hometown?
Absolutely. Also starting with a forward 2.5 somersault pike. Beautiful start, and you know, Tasmin, like you said, okay, Calgary Bay born, I should say, based in Saskatoon now, went to school in the States. It's all about finding the right formula for yourself, right?
Yeah, you come back, and even I was talking to his mom yesterday. His mom and girlfriend are watching in the stands here, but he studied sports psychology down in Florida, so he's interested in that. Now, diving and coaching a little bit in Saskatoon, and thinking he wants to get into coaching.
Not a bad thing to have been around high-performance sports to go into that line of work, that's for sure.
You have a good feel for what goes in.
All right, Cedric Fofana, winner of the 3 meter event. He kicks it off. Reverse, 1.5, 2.5 twist. Beautiful. You mentioned it right off the bat. He jumps very high, very powerful. And I like that he worked really hard to keep his legs together in this one. Sometimes in his twisting dives, the legs tend to kind of split apart.
He does tend to show that a little bit. He's one of the few divers that actually dips the board into the water and his hurdle. You saw that just little splash there as the board hit.
And I don't even know if that's a good thing or not. It kind of stops the usage of the board, right, on the 1 meter.
I think it does prevent the full range of the board, but didn't seem to affect him. He's probably
strong
used
enough
to it enough that he can just wait for it. Yeah, he's strong and quick.
All right, Carson Paul from the Boardworks Diving Academy. Forward 2.5 somersault pike.
Oh, we talked about Emmett's positions and toes and legs. There's another one.
And I really want to see Carson perform well in this event. If anything, just to build the confidence. Know that, you know, yesterday was a bad day at work. That happens. Come back here, line up 6 dives, and that's a great start for doing that. 61.1 is the total on his initial dive.
61 strong point total on the 1 meter.
Well, it's a lower degree of difficulty, right? So, especially after one round of dives, can't get too excited about the end result.
You want to get over 70 on your higher degree of difficulty dives, so getting up into the 3.1 on some of the harder dives. Thomas is going to start with maybe his weakest, lowest degree of difficulty dive, back 1.5 to 1.5 twists.
It's not a bad thing also to start with an easier dive, get the nerves off. Okay, good start. I thought he jumped a little bit far from the board, so the judges, obviously being so close to them, will definitely have picked up on that.
It's got just a little bit of crookedness in this entry. So hard to score higher than a 6.5, 7 when you're not just perfectly square or perpendicular to the judges.
And that happens most often in twisting dives, right? Where you're kind of struggling to really stop the twisting rotation. Saw a little bit of that here. Cedric Fofana in the lead after one dive. Carson Paul not too far ahead. Emmett Reese in third, but guaranteed it's going to be moving around quite a bit in the next 5 rounds.
Yeah, and despite Thomas being down in 7th right now, it's one dive. Thomas has a lot of difficulty.
Oh, yes.
We're going to see some jostling. Let's look out for Sam McAffrey, who also has some big dives. He jumps really high. He started out strong, also with his lowest degree of difficulty dive, which allows you then to, you know, have low points in the first round and then start building as your difficulty increases.
Paul Yang, back 1.5 pike. 2.3 degree of difficulty here. You want to create that acceleration in the rotation. Just, you know, when you do that come out, if you put your arms out, it's kind of like putting on the air brakes. And that's exactly what happened here.
Yeah. May have felt a little bit fast. Looked like he had a good stand-up.
Everything happens so fast,
the
right?
entry a little bit. This is, you can't really be thinking as you're going. It's got to be automatic, in the flow.
Sam McAffrey up next. He's representing the Point Claire Diving Club. Forward 2.5 somersault pike. Oh, good reaction here. We'll see on the replay.
A little bit back from the edge, and he still got the board to touch the water.
Well, okay. Sam is a tall, and we could call him a big boy, right?
Yeah, I think he's the tallest here.
Absolutely. So that in itself is an extra difficulty, that's for sure. And so with the strength that he has, being back from the end of the board there at the start, he can really manage, and especially on a dive that's not too demanding for him. All right, Arno now doing a forward 3.5 somersault tuck. Oh, wow! He made that look really easy.
Competing. He did. He just looked calm in his hurdle, riding the board nicely. And I mean, Arno is quite known for precise entries, very flat. Precision comes a little bit from being a tower diver developing that tightness that you need to really just power through the water.
70.5, big score here for Arno. Keeps going like this, he's going to be in the conversation for a podium finish towards the end. Here's Emmett now, back 1.5 somersault pike. Oh, that's unfortunate at the end there, going just past that vertical, because everything else was beautifully done.
Yeah, again, nice toes and legs, just obvious position. He also, I would think, would be looking for a little bit of a comeback today. Didn't have his best day yesterday, a little disappointing for him. So also looking to have a strong 1 meter finish.
41.4 is the total on the dive for Emmett. Up next, Tasmin Abramovich. Big dive here, 3.2 degree of difficulty with a forward 2.5 with 1 twist in the pike position.
A lot happening on this dive.
Oh, yes.
2.5 somersaults forward. He's going to come out and twist and then go in.
Okay, well, okay.
Best one of the day.
And if Tasmin listens to this event post everything that's happening, I always say in these twisting forward dives that he does, I would love for him to hold on to that pike position at the beginning just a little longer. Would just make his life easier at the end there to really complete the dive. But that wasn't bad at all. 67.2.
That's great. 67 points on that. Solid dive, a lot going on. And I think if he held on just a little bit longer, like you're saying, then after he comes out, he's able to get a little bit more straight instead of just sort of piked the whole time going into the water. All right.
Okay, here's another big dive. Back 2.5 somersault tuck from Cedric. That is very well done. For having done that dive for many years, it is extremely demanding. So you got to really time yourself with the board properly.
Keep your balance like really
Exactly.
well, which maybe he lost a little bit of control by leaning back just that little bit.
But you want to create that rotation, right? You got to get that dive going. So that's why you're seeing some 5.5s here, up to 6 for 51 points. Distance from the board, the judges will never miss that. Carson Paul forward, 3.5 somersault tuck. Degree of difficulty, 3.0.
He was struggling with his hurdle all morning in practice. Then he gets a good hurdle.
I want to say
overcompensates
that for Carson,
just that little bit.
His biggest beast is the hurdle. But when he gets it right, nothing's impossible for him, right? So just going a little bit past that vertical here on this one, but makes it look easy. You know, like so much space to complete this dive. So you have to be really, really aware of how high you are. And then, like we said before, you know, everything happens fast, so you don't have much time to.
And now it's playing a little bit with his nerves. He was looking to make a comeback yesterday from yesterday's results. Now he's just barely missed that. This is where you sort of get in your head, I still don't quite have it.
Got to leave that one behind.
His experience to move on to the next dive.
Yep.
Thomas, also Calgary original.
Super strong dive for Thomas here, the forward 2.5 somersault pike. Obviously, physically very easy. See how early he comes out of that rotation?
Just floats it around.
Good distance, good entry in the water. You can be real happy with that.
Thomas started in Calgary, trained in Montreal. He is now training with Jane Figueroa.
Jane,
Thomas Daly's coach.
Yeah, I've known her for years, and she has had quite the success on the international scene with the British team, especially with Tom Daly, who's a household name in our sport, of course. While we're looking at the standings after 2 rounds of dives, Arno Corbay right now in charge. Tasmin Abramovich in second, Cedric Fofana in third, and we We warned you before, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be moving around quite a bit throughout this event.
There's still a lot of room. 112 points is fourth. 125 is first. That is one dive make-upable.
And 2 rounds in, we're going to start seeing some more difficult dives, so higher degree of difficulties. Like we've gotten the jitters off the table, and now it's time to
into the meat of the event.
So here's Paul Yang, back 1.5 somersault with 1.5 twist. Okay, nicely done. I like the way he breaks down every movement right here. Straight. We mentioned before in those twisting dives a little bit of sometimes losing the control. I wonder what the judges will see here at the end of the dive.
Yeah, certainly has no trouble making the dive. He goes straight in, nice entry. Just deductions from that slight wobble as he's squaring out and not quite perfectly in line through that finish.
And that's essential on those types of dives. You gotta be squared with the judges. Okay, big dive here for Sam McAffrey, reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. Oh, I love the board work.
Very well done, smooth, like soundless.
One of the objectives in diving, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, Igor, is we want to make it look easy. And that is exactly what just happened. Yes, the board touched the water. That means he's that strong. But he didn't rush any movements. Coming out nice and smooth. So beautiful dive from Sam here.
Made it look like it had to go straight in.
Yeah, that's always a good feeling. Here comes Arno, currently in charge of this event after 2 really good first couple rounds. But here he is now with a lower degree of difficulty. Back 1.5 pike, 2.3, so this could...
yeah, this gives the others an opportunity to move up just a little bit. Especially that probably won't score much more than 40, so that we're going to see some,
when you get those,
jostling around.
Right, when you get those lower degree of difficulties, the margin of error is tinier than anything. You really have to score big points, so unfortunately here, 41.4 is the total on the dive. Considering the start that he's had, it's a little bit of a miss here, but nothing dramatic here.
Yeah, and it's tough and challenging to get every single one of your dives in as well as you can execute them. Obviously, that is the goal, that is the dream. But I think you always leave an event feeling like, oh, if I could have just done this a little better.
It's always like that.
You gotta leave that behind, move on, get right into the next dive. There's a few divers that are better than that than others.
Here's Emmett Racer now, reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. Just a little bit missing at the end there. You got to create that connection right off the bat, right here, just to get some speed of rotation. Emmett, another tall diver, so he's really got to create that momentum right off the board there.
Yeah, it looks like he's used to having just a little more speed on the takeoff, leaving it a little under-rotated. Looked like he was in great shape. His hurdle looked solid. Again, just like Sam before him, really smooth board ride, in balance.
Okay, Tasmin up next. Another big dive here, forward 3.5 somersault tuck.
So Arno made this look easy.
Mm-hmm.
See how Taz compares.
Okay, nicely done. It was a bit far back from the board. You can see it in the replay here. That just makes your life a bit harder. Not
a little more stressful. You're not getting everything out of it. Doesn't overreact, looks like.
No panicking. I do believe he came out of that rotation just a little bit early considering the circumstances, but good enough for 63 points. No big damage here, so Tasmin can look forward.
He'll hang on to his top 3 at this stage.
Here's
now
a monster
Cedric,
dive.
Yeah, Cedric doing the same dive, but pike. Come on.
Oh, okay, that's a lot of dive. I'm just gonna say it that way. You need everything possible in your favor to just accomplish this one. Cedric, another tall diver, so yes, got to use the board as much as possible, but also has to get in that pike position pretty quickly. Just a bit short from vertical here.
They showed the other scores initially.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
right.
That was a little bit high for that. That's a little bit more reasonable for what he did. I did see him do a great one in the warm-up and yesterday, and in the Instagram post going around, they were videoing one of those that was just breathtaking.
Well,
so he does have it in him.
But I'm glad you're bringing that up, because that shows what kind of extra pressure just being in the competition really applies on those divers. You know, you got no stress in the warm-up, just kind of smooth, executing technique, loose, and then you do your best dives. But then when it matters, when it counts, things change just a little. Back 2.5, tuck position, big dive here for Carson Paul, and he's unsatisfied with the result, just coming out of that rotation a tiny bit early.
And then just not quite finishing it off. Hard dive. Saw him, I also do this better in the warm-up. So a frustrating 44 points. Again, not getting the results that he was looking for. I am standing next to someone who, you know, we talk a little bit about the competition, the pressure, speaking to someone who often rose to the occasion in these pressure-filled moments. Did you feel yourself, did you have nerves, did you feel uncomfortable, or was this, how would you describe dealing with those pressure situations? Because you were in the biggest pressure situations there are in diving.
I found myself being able to really sort of get into a tunnel vision where I didn't look at people in the stands, I didn't care or paid attention, I should say. Beautiful front 3.5 here from Thomas. Speaking of pressure.
Just listening to your advice as he goes.
Tunnel vision, right? Like it doesn't, it's the final. Okay, you've done these dives, I don't know how many times, hundreds of times. So for me it was the same, is as much as I was able to put aside and just focus on, I know how to do this. But that's the difficulty, right? Like it's just to be able to.
Are you doing this? Are you thinking in words or pictures?
I would, great question. I would think in, I wouldn't visualize all that much.
Okay.
It always ended very badly when I did and tried that. So I figured I'm gonna do the physical movement of what I'm working on for this specific dive, one thing at a time, and at a lot of occasions it worked out quite well for me. So. Hopefully it works for the rest of our boys.
It did work out very well for you indeed.
So we've had a bit of a shuffle here.
Yeah, we have Taz taking the lead with 180.
But look, 174 for Thomas in second place, 171 for Sam McAffrey with 3 more rounds to go, so
halfway.
Lots of diving that can change the outcome of this competition. Here's Paul Yang, forward 2.5 pike. Nice.
Best dive so far.
Very well done, absolutely. Full control on the board. Not in the best position to take off, but, and we mentioned this yesterday, there's a lot of work being done underwater to try and save that entry. You gotta wrap your body around and just suck your legs in so that the water comes.
Suck the water in with you. You also prevent your legs from over-rotating. You kind of give that illusion of verticality as you're going in the water. Did a great
and we
job
got to repeat it, right?
There.
The judges only see the dive once.
And they really only see what's above the water from their angle,
Absolutely.
so they can't see what you're doing underneath.
Sam up next. Easier dive for him now. Inward, 1.5 somersault. Pike position, 2.4 degree of difficulty.
Sitting in third right now.
Very important dive, because you just mentioned he's sitting in third, so this is a lower degree of difficulty. You can't go and leave points on the table, so that's a good takeoff, good control here.
And this is a great dive for him. I have seen him do it better. I'm not sure how much difference it would make from the judges. 7.5, 8. He could have had maybe a slightly better line on the finish, but he's certainly high and straight in.
It's not a mistake here in this event. dive here for Arno.
Arno was leading after 2. After 3, he drops out of the top 3. Now, with this dive, which he drilled in practice, looks to get back up in.
Oh, good save here.
Amazing
You'll see
save.
it on the replay with the toes completely off the board for this reverse 2.5 tuck.
Then great takeoff. And then it looked like we thought he was going way over, and he just stopped it.
Right there. See, 1, 2, see the water. Keep your body tight while going in. Really good save from Arno here. And I know you're seeing some 5.55 up to 6 here, but
There's
it was
some
looking out to be a
mastery
lot.
in what he was actually able
Yep.
to execute there. And that's another hugely important skill in competing, is if things aren't going perfect and not going great, that you hang on and salvage it for what you can.
Especially on the springboard events. You know, it's about limiting the damage no matter what circumstances the board is going to decide to give you on that one.
Yeah, it's like if you hit it into the sand trap on the golf course, you get it back out of the sand trap. Doesn't have to
Absolutely.
get on the green necessarily.
Beautiful inward
close.
1.5 pike from Emmett.
That should get 8s.
I would give it an 8, but I'm not a judge though, so we'll see what they think. But beautiful entry in the water, very smooth, made it look easy, and it's not a hard dive for him to
So
accomplish.
not
so
a single 8 for him. Maybe they would have liked to seen it a little bit higher. We like the toes and the line and the entry from up here.
All right, your current leader, and he's got quite the order in front of him here with this back 2.5 somersault tuck as his 4th dive. He's going to need a big one here if he hopes to stay in winning contention.
He needs to stay over the board a little better than he has been in practice, just to give him a little more height and room to get his arms all the way out on that entry. That's kind of the trick on this dive. A lot of people do it, but can't quite get their arms lined up all the way because they just run out of time.
Oh, just a bit of an overreaction here. Didn't need that. You see, he had all the energy, had all the
there.
power to really find that vertical right here, just over pulling with the upper body. That makes obviously no chance for it to stop.
That's going to hurt at this stage.
But these are all those little fine details when you're in a final. You got that extra energy. Don't overreact to how you feel up in the air.
Or even sometimes reacting to what you did in the warm-up.
Yeah, or the prelim in the morning,
Yeah.
right?
So another super hard dive.
Cedric reverse 2.5 pike, so big dive here. 3.2 is the degree of difficulty. Was not in an ideal position on the board, a little leaning forward.
You can really see that board
Coming
bouncing
out.
around
Yep.
after he's taken off. He went off early, didn't really ride it all the way, and still almost made it all the way in on a dive that no one else is doing in this competition. They're all doing tuck.
And that's a risk you're taking, right? High risk, high reward. But you need a lot of the elements to really be in your favor, including the biggest one, which is being comfortable on the board. All right, Carson Paul.
Check out Carson's hurdle, same dive, but tuck. Great hurdle.
Oh, also coming out a little bit early from that rotation because
Yeah.
everything was there.
There was no reason to go short on this. It's super high, beautiful tuck. Just maybe a little early, thought he was higher than he was.
Bit of a judgment error here, but
I think it looks to me Carson's just in that, he's got that gameness in his head. He went a little over on his front. I had a great hurdle. I need to compensate for that. Getting great takeoffs. And then he just that fight, struggling to just find that flow and just let it
it's
let it
6
go.
rounds of dives, right? And you really got to treat them as separate entities. No matter what happened on the round before, if you were comfortable on the board or not, it doesn't mean that you won't have everything that you need to complete the next dive. So it's part of the focusing game. All right.
Yeah. Thomas is back 2.5.
Oh, Thomas seems to be in a mood right now.
Best one we've seen so
Oh,
far.
yes. I love the work being done here. Uses the board to its fullest. Knows exactly where to line up. That's a good back 2.5 here.
Little small detail too. He maintains his toe point through the knee save. So when you're going in backwards, sometimes you bend your knees underwater right as you're going in. A lot of divers will kind of flex their feet in that moment. Maintaining the toe point. A little extra. Look how good I am, he says to everyone.
Exactly. He says, I'm not done until I'm completely underwater. And that puts him in first position and leading this event with 2 more dives to go. Sam McAffrey in second, Arno Corbay in third, and Tasmin now in fourth. So, again, very few points between
third and fourth, but things are starting to spread a little bit. So Tom kind of has grabbed the event.
He's in good position right now, but has got some interesting dives coming up.
He's got, 2 technically hard, but for him rather stable dives, I would say. Showing that it wasn't a fluke to win the prelim. He's in the driver's seat. It's his event now.
Paul Yang, reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. Okay, good takeoff. Just missing a little bit of power to fully get that energy that's needed to complete the dive at the end. Tuck position also, I would have liked to see it a little bit tighter. Would have helped him out.
Yeah, needs to get in a little bit smaller, and just that little bit more patience to get up in the air first, then get the spin going. Gives you a little bit more room. Actually helps your spin if you do it properly.
We can never understate how important the timing on the board is between bending your legs, rotating your arms, getting that rotation going, whichever direction it is going in. Reverse 1.5 twist for Sam here. Very stable again, so.
Height and entry on this, really good. Looks just, I mean, if we're gonna pick at it, it looks a little bit sideways as he's leaning into it, and then recovers.
And that's what you'll be seeing in the scores. A bit of disruptancy here. You see 7.
One of the judges was like, I didn't like that move, but you gotta also take into account everything.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, for sure. Plus, top 2, bottom 2, they get taken out anyway, so that's an advantage for Sam on this one. Okay, Arno Corbay, inward 2.5 somersault tuck. Degree of difficulty, 3.1.
His hardest of the event and one of his best.
Oh, nice.
Not as good as the one we just watched in the warm-up?
I was going to say the same. He had a really solid one in the warm-up. Didn't quite fully extend the body to really get that entry that we know he's capable of. That's what creates a little bit of a splash there.
So still deceptively powerful as well. Really nice board ride height, great takeoff.
60.45, I mean, he's still applying pressure to be in that podium contention with one more dive to go.
So here's Emmett doing what Sam just did with the reverse twist, but he's adding a twist. Reverse 1.5, 2.5 twists.
And this type of dive, when it's well executed, is really spectacular. Nice.
Like that.
Very well done.
That's got to be close to 70 points. 65 to 70 points on this.
Yep. He'll get
beautifully done.
That's me being picky now. He'll get a little bit of a deduction just from the distance off the board, right? Jumped a little bit far out, but everything else was really well executed.
Yeah, just that little forward. Just, again, the patience. Didn't quite wait to finish all the way through. 63 points, just under.
That's a good dive, though, for Emmett. Heading towards the end of this event. Here comes Tasmin now with an inward 2.5 somersault tuck. So if he hopes to get back in that top 3, he's going to need a really good one here.
Sitting in 4th after 4 rounds.
A little overreaction too. Can't keep that head. You're high enough. No need to really, because when you keep your head in, right, coach, body keeps rolling.
Yeah. Nothing good happens when you duck your head.
So that was not necessary at the end of the dive there. Just had to line up, had plenty of space. So 54.25 is the total on this one for Tasmin. We'll see what the rest of the field has in hand. Another massive dive here from Cedric Fofana, inward 2.5 somersault, this time in the pike position. That's a 3.4 degree of difficulty. Very demanding. Okay, well one thing for sure is he can get into that speed of rotation quite well, right? I'd like to see him use the board a bit more.
I think this is that thing where he has so much power and speed that he just has to dedicate more time to his patience so that it can be used even more effectively, help him get straighter in. Even he's got 59 points on a dive.
But that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Is to use the board, be patient, but do the movements that you need to do in the right time as well. Okay, Carson, now reverse 1.5 with 2.5 twist. Wow. Okay, good. Very good
way
patience.
Over the edge on that. That's a great demonstration. Like
Look at the toes,
using
completely off.
Yeah.
No panic. So obviously he's jumping a little out forward. So that will keep him a little few degrees short from the vertical. But considering the position he was on the board taken off, that could have gone a lot worse than it did. So
I'm sure
good job.
His heart jumped up to his throat as he was feeling himself come down over the edge of the board that far.
And the worst part is he has to forget about it right away because he's got one more dive to go.
Yeah.
All right, Thomas. Reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. Thomas has clawed his way into first place so far. Important moment for him right now. Oh, beautiful. I love Thomas's composure, right? He's super strong, so high up in the air before landing on the board to jump back again right here. So, you know, analyze the fact that he had to arch a little bit just to try and find that vertical.
Yeah, and just looking at the replay, we saw Carson with his toes over the edge. Yep. You just saw Thomas with his toes to the edge in a perfect position. It's got to be a good feeling. And then it allows him to just go straight up and kick out confidently. Even just that little hair under-rotated short, he's still pulling up 8s.
Yep, for sure. Keeps him into first place.
Spreading his lead.
And look at this, Arno Corbay, second with 279.45. 278.4 is Sam McAffrey. Carson Paul, 272. This is going to be a very exciting sixth and final round.
5 to 6 divers still in contention for medals.
That's right.
Yeah.
Pressure's
That's
on.
nice when we're good. We may see some movement here. When you're separated by 1 point, it really does, as it often does, come down to your last dive.
All right, Paul Yang, his last dive will be an inward 2.5 somersault in the tuck position. And Paul's had a good event as well, very consistent, no big mistakes. Nicely done. Good for him to compete with some of the best divers in the country, just to know what it takes, know what he has to go back home to work for. Little rushed on the board here.
Yeah, and for him, it's a little bit board. We're getting a little bit more height, finishing his dives just a little bit higher. Maybe a little more confidence shown on the entry.
46.5. Back to the drawing board, and on he will go. Sam McAffrey in the hunt for a podium spot here. Inward 2.5 somersault tuck, same dive we just saw. Sam's been having a good day as well.
Yeah, he's been diving very well. One more solid dive.
Consistency, right?
Yeah.
That's what you want in diving. Oh, well done.
Beautiful, just effortless takeoff. High.
He did make this dive look really easy, so obviously keeping that head a little tucked in here, makes the legs go past the vertical, creates that splash, but
so there's room to be passed.
335.75
just a few points ahead of Carson. 57.
And see, this is what happens on the last round is they might not say it, but they're all paying attention to who's diving before them, right? So pressure is applied right now. Arno, reverse 1.5 twist. Oh, well done.
Arno sitting in second.
It's a lower degree of difficulty.
Yeah, a little under.
This might come into play for the end result.
Didn't quite put that entry on it that he's normally so good on.
Ooh, okay, so 49.4 on the last dive. See, this all comes into the strategy of where you put which dive in terms of the degree of difficulty. If you need points at the end to assure your place in the top 3 or for a medal or in the top 5, whatever your objective is.
And this last one, and I think there's a psychology too amongst the judges. This last round, the dive, they're ready to reward.
It really matters, right? Yeah. Here's Emmett, his last dive forward, 1.5 somersault, 2 twists.
And for those of you interested, McAffrey just pulled ahead of Arno after that last dive.
Oh, nice. Well done. I thought he was going to go shorter than he did, but really pulled through right here. Up until the end. Very smooth
Beautiful
looking.
Twist position, too.
Yep.
Like, you can't ask for a flatter, straighter twist position. The judges loved it as well.
That's right. 7.5s up to 8 and 8.5 there for a total of 59.8 for Emmett. Always feels good to finish up the event on a good dive, so that's exactly what just happened. Tasmin Abramovich.
So, Taz in striking distance. He has the DD. He can do this dive great. He did it great in the practice.
3.0 reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. This is a pressure dive for anyone doing it.
From 5th place.
Oh! That's going to shuffle things around. What a dive when it was needed. Beautiful takeoff in full control.
He just jumped way up.
Tiny little bit forward from the board, so I'm just being picky here. I got to find something. Look at this, 8.5s.
76 points, the highest
up to 9
dive so far. He just jumped into the medals.
Well,
he leapt into the medals on that last dive.
Absolutely. I love to see that character, right? When it counts. Here's Cedric now. His last dive forward, 2.5 somersault, 1 twist pike. Nice. Another really hard dive to accomplish.
Hard dive, and then again, just Cedric, patience on that board, just a little bit rushing it. Then he doesn't quite get that nice vertical finish at the end. Just didn't quite get all the way straight out.
It's like the patience you're going to have on the board is going to pay off at the end. It's going to just give you a little tiny space to breathe and really line up properly into that vertical.
He did win the event yesterday, the one that counts.
And that's an important point you're making. You know, it comes, obviously the 3-meter event is a little, I want to say more important because it was a qualification for the rest of the season. The 1-meter is not, so that could affect also how you approach the event, which is why I was saying earlier on, this is an event to test yourself and, you know, try new things in terms of your preparation or warm-up or how you approach the event. Carson rounds it up
with his chance. A great dive here, and he can displace and move the medals.
Ah!
He does. He had it again. Boy, Carson with the takeoffs today, and just not finding his entry.
Just second guessing exactly right here. Coming out a little bit early, but then held on to that pike position to wheel through the vertical just a bit too long. That's costing him some points for a total of 55.8 here for Carson. You know what? These boys have to compete. They got to be in these situations. They got to know how to react to the day before, to how you're feeling right now.
And you got to enjoy it. I remember when I was diving and watching from the side when I didn't make a final, and watching everyone compete against each other and thinking, actually that looks like fun.
Well, Thomas is having fun,
Embrace it.
I'm pretty sure, in
Thomas
this
is
1 meter
having
final. Inward 2.5 somersault tuck. His last dive. Beautiful. You know what? Thomas had an amazing time in this final, finishing off with an inward 2.5. You're not quite extending the body to its fullest, but it's going to be good enough to keep him in first place. There's Jane, the magician. I like to call her that.
Has a
she's
golden
amazing.
touch.
Oh, exactly, a golden touch. And the move for Thomas to go to the University of Tennessee, dive with Jane, has been really paying off because he's had quite the time here in Calgary now that he's the winner of the 1 meter event.
Won the 1 meter event, second in the 3 meter event, making his qualifying scores, made the selection.
Yep, and I was talking to him earlier, so improving on the preliminary score. So it's all great news for Thomas. Tasmin climbed back to second on the last round there. Sam McAffrey in third.
So although both of those divers are no longer representing Calgary, that's Calgary in Calgary, first and second. Calgary formed divers that have now
There you go.
gone on to be somewhere else. Sam McAffrey able to hang on to the bronze medal position. Great list from him.
Absolutely, very consistent. Not the biggest degrees of difficulty overall, but
enough. He had a couple
Enough.
3.0s.
it's the right
and
word.
then steady diving enough to put him right up there.
All right, well, Igor, thank you very much. I'll put you to work again tomorrow
I look forward to it.
in one of these events that we'll have happening. And
I think I'm in for the women's 3 meter final.
Okay, you're in. It's been confirmed. There we go. Okay, so we'll be coming up in just under about 30 minutes with the women's 10 meter final. And that is sure to be another really exciting showcase.
Another one of the more dramatic events in diving.
Absolutely. So we'll see you then.
Diving fans, your attention to the big screen. You will see a highlight package of our medalists here in the men's 1 meter. This is how they achieved their status on the podium. This will be followed immediately by the medal ceremony for the men's 1 meter championship final. Diving fans, please welcome the medal ceremony for the men's 1 meter event. The medals and gifts will be presented by the one, the only, Olympic coach, Jane Figueredo. The winner of the bronze medal, Samuel McAffrey from Point Claire Dive Club. Your winner of the silver medal, representing Saskatoon Dive Club, Tasmin Abramovich. Your winner of the gold medal and your Winter National Championship 1 meter champion, from Point Claire Dive Club, Thomas Ciprick. These are your 2026 Winter National Championship medalists.
Calgary, voici vos médaillés des championnats nationaux d'hiver 2026.
And once again, our thanks to our presenter, Jane Figueredo. Probably about at least 5 Olympic Games Jane has been the coach at, and she's now coaching Thomas at the University of Tennessee. Jane, thank you so much for being here. Sarah, we're ready for this award. You got Carson? I don't see Carson.
Prix Standing Ovation. Ce prix souligne une saison exceptionnelle d'un athlète dont le dévouement, l'esprit sportif et le travail acharné méritent une ovation. Félicitations ensemble, Carson Paul, récipiendaire du prix Standing Ovation cette année.
Standing Ovation Award presented by Debbie Muir, member of the Diving Plongeon Canada Board of Directors. This award celebrates an outstanding season from an athlete whose dedication, sportsmanship, and hard work deserve a round of applause. Please join us in recognizing Carson Paul, the recipient of this year's Standing Ovation Award. And also, please enjoy this short video put together representing the Standing Ovation Award presented to Carson Paul. The Standing Ovation Award, Carson Paul. Thank you, Carson. Thank you, Debbie Muir.
will resume. Program will resume.
All right, we're getting set for the last event of the day here on day 2 of competition at the 2026 Winter National Championships. The women's 10-meter final is coming right up, so I'm going to be honest here with everyone. It was a bit of a rough morning for most of the women in this event, so it gives them the opportunity to come back and do better. There's a moment in between the day where they get to reflect, they get to forget sometimes also. And this is what we hope to see in this final event here for the women on 10 meter. And my main man who will be accompanying me in this women's 10 meter final is Matt Cullen. How are you, buddy?
I'm pretty good, pretty excited for this final.
Oh, well, you got to be excited because I was just saying, and I'm sure you witnessed it this morning as well, it was a bit of a rough morning for most of the women, so great chance to do better. And you know, the 10 meters is your event. You know what it's all about.
Yeah, it's you get nervous during competition, but final gets you going. And I feel a final is like the competition where everyone wants to perform, you know.
And what's at stake here for the ladies taking part in this event? Because I feel like there's 8 divers in this final, 8 divers in the prelim this morning, so there wasn't much at stake. There wasn't any consequence as to what would happen in the morning. Does that affect the diver leading up to a final like tonight?
I think I spoke to a bit of the divers downstairs, and I think it's like they see it as a practice, so they head into
in the
prelims.
morning.
Yeah,
right.
So they head in prelims, and they practice. They want to do well because they don't want to miss their dives. But
okay.
final is important because you could qualify for World Cups and you could qualify for international competitions.
That's it. So the rest of the season here is in play for the women. So it is coming up in just a few moments, Matt. We're going to let them be introduced.
Oh yeah.
And then we're going to start calling some diving. You ready?
Oh yeah.
All right. It's your first time. I'm going to be judging you on this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope I do well.
You'll do just fine. All right. We'll be back in just a few moments with the women from the 10-meter final coming up. All right, we are getting set for the start of the women's 10-meter final here at the Winter National Championships. Alex Despatie with Matt Cullen. Matt was a junior world champion on this very event. I'm very happy to have you by my side, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll be competing tomorrow. So
Also, yeah.
So I'm putting you to work here to talk about the women's diving, but I know you're going to have a ton of energy to be performing tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. It's good to see them perform.
Absolutely. It's going to get you psyched up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Getting me excited already.
Oh, yes. Okay, so Lila Gokir from right here in Calgary. Her first dive is an inward 2.5 somersault pike. All right, good start.
Very good.
What did you think of this one?
I really like the jump. It was very straight. I feel like in prelims she went a bit back. That felt like it felt really better. I feel like it's easier to control also when you go
Easier to
straight.
control, definitely. A little bit short from the vertical. That's creating a bit of a splash here as we're waiting for the scores. And I mentioned it earlier, junior world champion. What year was that again?
2022.
Okay.
It's been
So,
a little
yeah,
while. Yeah.
Absolutely. And how much has diving changed since then for you?
Took a little break because I had injuries I had to take care of, but now
It's taxing on the body to become
yeah.
a world champion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
it's not easy. But now I'm back on the big circuit with my friends in Team Canada, so it feels very good.
You're looking pretty good too. I'm
Thank you.
I don't want to apply any more pressure, but
No.
we're expecting a good show tomorrow. That's
I
for
hope
sure.
so. I sure hope so.
So we're still waiting for Lila's scores here on the first dive. 6.5 up to 7 for the rest of the judges.
That's pretty good.
58.8. That is a solid and positive start.
It's a good start.
All right, from the Toronto Diving Academy, Caitlyn Fong. So it was a bit of a tough prelim for Caitlyn, so everything is in place for her to improve and be more satisfied with her performance. Her first dive and forward 3.5 somersault pike. Okay, good start. Bit past the vertical, and you for a lot of these divers, you train with them every day, so it'll be interesting to hear sort of what you see happening on a normal day and in a situation of a competition like right now.
Caitlyn is, this dive for Caitlyn is a very solid dive. Usually she performs it really well. She's been having a bit of problems with her shoulder, which, well, it's harder for her.
That stays in your head, right?
Yeah, it's, even if it doesn't hurt, I feel like, I don't know if it hurts for her, but I know when you get an injury, it plays with your head.
Absolutely. It's always on your mind.
Yeah.
Even though you get that extra adrenaline in competition,
Exactly.
you're still thinking about it. But total of 60 points for Caitlyn as we move on to Matild Labair from the Camo Diving Club. Inward 2.5 somersault pike. Oh! And you mentioned a ripped entry before.
yeah.
That's exactly it.
That's a rip entry we want from Matild right here.
And
This
the
is-
judges, 7 of them, top 2 scores, bottom 2 get taken out, and then we
So,
add
yeah.
up the next 3, multiply them with the degree of difficulty, and the last thing they see is that entry. So that's why it's
has
a
to be
bingo.
the most important thing in diving, I think. In
8
competition.
for all judges. It is the most important thing because the judges, it's the last impact you're going to have on them.
That's what they
right?
remember.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Kate Miller. First dive for her, reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. Oh,
Very
yes.
nice.
Already, after 4 divers, I can see that the level of diving is already
Oh,
a
yeah.
bit higher than it was this morning. That's a really easy dive for Kate, right?
Yeah, it's very easy dive, but she's very strong. You
Mhm.
can see that jump is very high, and she has plenty of space to do her 2.5.
So Kate out here representing Nepean Ottawa Diving Club, but going to school right now in California.
Exactly.
So coming back to these national championships,
It's not the same weather, eh?
no,
It's a bit colder here.
It is a bit cold here in Calgary, but hey, we know that it's going to be cold. Now, that's a good start for Kate. Also representing Nepean, Ottawa is Ella Lindsay, one of the rare divers right now that competes on both the springboard event and the platform. We're in an era where most divers try to select one of the two and specialize. You chose the 10 meter.
Yeah, I didn't really have a choice, I think. I wasn't very good on 3 meters.
No, it'll come. You'll see. Inward 2.5
very
pike.
good.
Solid takeoff there.
She jumps very high.
Beautiful pike position. I kind of almost saw right here the body kind of turning sideways a little bit.
I feel like she maybe put her head down a bit. I made her roll a bit. But that's very solid to start.
The judges get to see the dive only once. We get the replay to try and analyze it all. But that's a good start for Ella. Coming up, Eloise Bélanger from the Camo Diving Club. And her first dive will be an inward 2.5 somersault pike. 2.8 is the degree of difficulty. That mistake at the bottom came from all the way up top, right here. Would have liked to seen her jump a little bit higher, right?
You see her heels going down and not coming back up. Yeah, she's not going to be happy with that one, but she could come back.
All right, 42 points, 4 more dives to go. Not the start expected or wanted from Eloise, but there is, like you said, plenty of time to make it up here. Julianne Guav from L'Envol Diving Club. She begins the competition with a forward 3.5 somersault pike, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Oh,
nice start. Yeah, she'll be happy with that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Julianne, I started diving with her when I was 6 years old.
Oh,
She's
you're
an
both
amazing
making
athlete.
your way.
Oh, yeah, she's amazing. She works very hard.
I was going to say that because I, sometimes happen to be at the pool and I see you guys train, and Julianne is definitely, you all train really hard, obviously, to be at this level. Julianne is one that seems to have a focus. She's hungry for
she wants
for big things. Yep.
Oh, yeah. She has a bright future.
That's a good start for her in this women's 10-meter final. One more dive in this first round. Sarah Kurthers from the Toronto Diving Academy. All smiles ahead of an inward 3.5 somersault tuck. So a big dive to initiate this final. .2 is the degree of difficulty on this one. Just a little much here. Didn't need to overreact at the end. Good takeoff. And I know it may seem close to the viewers who are maybe a little less used to diving, but that was the right distance, right?
That was perfect. Good jump, right distance. Just held on a bit too long.
You got that little extra adrenaline in this final context here. Keep your head in and the body keeps rotating. So here are the standings after one round of diving.
Equal.
A tied at first place for Matild and Kate here at 67.2. But look, there's 4 more rounds to go.
Nothing's over.
There's
everything could happen.
A lot that's coming up. 5 rounds of dives in this final. And round number 2 is kicking off with Lila. Second round dive, a forward 3.5 somersault pike. Quite a few people in the stands here, the locals coming to watch the national championships here in Calgary, especially for Lila, I'm assuming. Okay, just a little bit missing here. I would have liked to see more momentum right off the top.
Yeah, really.
Right here.
For me, it's the open. She opened very fast. Instead of staying in a pike and waiting for the right angle.
So you let go of your legs. You hold your legs tight to your body.
You want to hold your legs tight until you're vertical to the water, then open fully.
And it all happens so fast. So here, 36 is the total on the dive. And here comes Caitlyn Fong. Big dive for Caitlyn here.
This is a new dive for her.
You know, every diver out there, male or female, trying to get an edge with the degree of difficulties, and that's exactly what Caitlyn is doing here, adding into the toughness of these dives. 3.2 on an inward 3.5 somersault tuck. Nice!
That's good.
That is a success. Seems confident, doesn't take too much time on the tower, and obviously that is to each his own. Yeah. How much time you want to reflect on the dive. I didn't used to take very much time because things would get messy up in my head, but
she'll be happy with that. I know she was working on confident kick. So
there you go.
Don't hold back. Confident kick, and you trust yourself.
Showed exactly that, 62.4 on this one.
That's good.
Good to build on for the next few rounds of dives.
This
Here
is
comes
a new dive for
Matild.
her too.
Okay, forward 3.5 somersault pike. Another hard worker from the Montreal pool.
Yeah. Shows up every day.
Nice.
It's good.
Beautifully done. And we've seen quite a few divers, especially on the 10-meter event, either in training or now in the competition this morning. The lighting is a bit tricky here in this pool, so the adjustments being made to really find that vertical are just a little bit harder than they usually are, right?
The pool is something you have to get adjusted to because every pool is different, every lighting is different.
Absolutely, and it's the same for everyone, right?
Yeah,
but,
so it's,
so we've seen some events happening here, but like I said, everybody's in the same boat. Here comes Kate Miller, now inward 3.5 somersault tuck. Oh, so strong off the takeoff.
Very strong.
Just
Open
coming
the
out
foot,
of, right? A little bit too early from that rotation.
Yeah, a bit early.
And that comes with that extra energy that you have in a final. So you second guess yourself sometimes. Oh, I feel a lot higher, so I'm going to come out of that rotation early. But you really have to hold on to that tuck position just a little bit longer for Kate on this one.
Like I said earlier, she is very strong. Those lead-ups are very
I mean, and being so strong, whether it's on the springboard or the tower, comes with responsibility. You got to learn how to control that strength and speed, especially in a situation of competition, right? Yeah. You know all about that. Here's Lindsay. Back 2.5 somersault pike.
Oh,
there's some beautiful control there. 10 meters to do those 2.5 rotations, so she has to come out of that pike way early here. Keep those abdominal muscles really tight.
Really like the open.
Yep.
She looks like she's in control.
A little bit past the vertical, but the judges liked it. 7.5.
My coach looks happy too.
Fernando. He's been in charge of the Nepean Ottawa club for many, many years, even back when I was diving.
That's a long time ago.
Thank you, Matt, for reminding me. Okay, Eloise Bélanger, her second dive, reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. It's a 2.8 degree of difficulty. Again, control's going to be key here.
Oh,
nice.
Very good.
So Eloise is the veteran in this event, so her experience to come back after a bit of a tricky first round is exactly what she needed to do right here.
It's very impressive.
Good takeoff, good control. Nice entry in the water.
Point.
Oh, yes. Never compromises, right? Straight legs, toe points are beautiful. This is something I always pay attention to. So 8s, 8.5 and 1.9 there. So that will for sure bring some confidence back into her for the rest of the event. Julianne also doing a reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. You can't hesitate in a final, right?
No, you can't. You
I
have to
feel
go
like
for
that's
it.
what I saw from the takeoff, just holding back a little bit.
I feel like she could have saved it maybe a bit. You could see she piked a bit at the end of the water, which makes it splash the other way.
Okay, got to brush this one off. 46.2 is the total on this one. Tong Hui, the coach, telling her came out maybe a little early from that rotation as well, considering the takeoff. Sarah Kurthers now with a back 2.5 somersault pike position. Representing the Toronto Diving Academy, but also going to school in the U.S. in Texas. Oh, just a bit missing there. I would have liked to see more momentum right here. Just jumping a little bit downwards.
She kind of twisted a bit at the end. It's probably going
to see if the judges catch that, because that would cost quite a few points. Always want to be perpendicular from the judges. That's where you see here the 3.5s. For a total of 34.8. And here are the standings after 2 rounds of dives. Matild, Labair in control, but by a fraction of a point, with Lindsay right behind her. Caitlyn Fong in 3rd. So it's going to be quite the hunt, I think, for most of this event. Higher degree of difficulties are coming.
We only have, how many points? We don't have a lot of points between the 4th and 1st.
So that can change as well, of course. The consistency is always the key, right? You want to do as little mistakes as possible, but at the highest level, then you can produce as well. 3rd round dive for Lila will be a back arm stand double somersault with 1.5 twist. So the key thing here is to show control, right?
Oh yeah, you have to hold for 3 seconds if you want to get all your points.
Show control for a few seconds, like you said. Remember the first time you got up on an arm stand on the 10 meter?
I balked twice. That was failed dive first time.
Competition. So balking means you didn't go. So then that was 0 points for you because you did it twice. Well, it doesn't get, you can't do worse than that. So it only got better.
Yeah, exactly.
After that. So jumping a little towards the bottom here. So you want to even off your arms, trying to create like a jumping sense. Give yourself the chance to fully complete the dive, fully lock your elbows at the bottom. So 48 is the total on this one for Lila. She knows she left a bit there. Okay, so here comes Caitlyn now with the same dive, back arm stand double somersault with 1.5 twist. This is a strong dive for Caitlyn. Seen her do this really well. That's what we were talking about, the control. The nerves get in. Want to stabilize here before going. Okay.
What a save.
Good save, because just that little movement up top here in the arm stand, that'll play with your mind as well, right?
That will also get your arms a bit weaker because you have to fight.
So a little bit short from the vertical, but all in all, like you said, Matt, a good save here for Caitlyn. Could have been a lot worse given the situation at the top. So 48 is the total on this one. And having a sore shoulder doing an arm stand dive is definitely.
She also has a sore. She's been having a sore tricep, so doesn't help.
Well, that event in itself is so demanding on the body. It's not only every single entry going in, but the impact, the takeoffs, the arm stands, all the lead-up dives that you have to do to get ready to go up on that 10-meter. It's a lot. Back 2.5 pike for Matild there.
Bit short.
A little bit of hesitation. Really had to go and reach up. Beautiful pike position right there. Kept her arms in a little bit.
Yeah, she piked a bit at the end.
That'll create the splash for sure. You really got to line those arms up with the rest of the body and create that perfect.
No matter how you are, you have to go in like you were straight. You have to go in confident.
Kate Miller now. Forward, 3.5 somersault pike. Degree of difficulty, 3.0. Oh, yes! That was business right there.
Very good entry.
Well aware of where she was in the air. Confident. You mentioned confidence right here.
Confident kick.
Lining up,
Very
knowing
good.
exactly what's coming. So she'll be very happy with this one.
She had plenty of space to see.
Absolutely. 70.5 is the total on the dive. What I like about Kate, too, in competition, right now she's not thinking about what just happened. She's already moved on to the next dive, and that's important.
That's how you should be.
Yeah. Ella Lindsay. Next dive for her, reverse 2.5 somersault, tuck position. Very easy dive for her to accomplish. Got to keep control of the speed of rotation to come out from the tuck position. Oh!
It's a good come out, though.
Good come out, but a little hesitant to go and line up with the rest of the body right here. So that is what created the splash at the bottom. But she has to come out that early.
She has to.
Jumps really high. Rotation's happening just as fast as it should be.
No one should go slower in the air to kick higher.
No,
Always
right.
give your max and kick lower.
Go all out.
Yeah, always.
You know I'm taking notes for your event tomorrow, eh?
Perfect.
So I can relate back to you after.
Good.
All right, Eloise Bélanger. Dive coming up, back 2.5 somersault, pike, 2.9 is the degree of difficulty. All right, beautiful.
It's a good dive.
Great control, that's it. I'm gonna be a little picky here because I have to find something. Jumping a little far back from the tower so the judges won't miss that. And I feel like her going past the vertical is also the reason from the takeoff. Jumping backwards.
Yeah, you're not in control. You can go flying over if
Right.
you get far.
But
If
all
you
in
could
all,
get that
good dive.
squat, go up straighter, like finishing the squat jump, that dive would be really good.
Absolutely.
That was a very good dive either way.
All right, Julianne back 2.5 somersault with 1.5 twist pike position. 3.2 is the degree of difficulty, so that's one of her biggest dives in the event. Important moment here. Ay-ya!
Just a bit over.
Overreaction, too.
Yeah.
Held on to that pike position just a little too long right here.
I like her jump though. She jumps pretty good, and the twist position is very good.
I can see from her body language, though, that she knows she's left a bit on the table here. 43.2 is the total for this third round dive. One more to go in this round. Sarah Kurthers with a forward 3.5 somersault tuck. Nice, very well done. Good control on that one. Jumps a little far out, but
Yeah.
finds the vertical nonetheless. Breaking down every movement in the technique.
Yeah, I really like the dive. I like how high she gets also. A lot of people when they do when they run off the tower like she just did and jump off.
The approach.
Yeah, it's hard to go really up.
Because you got that speed going
Yeah,
forward,
exactly.
right?
You have
You're
to
trying
change the speed.
break that into going straight up. Standings after 3 dives. Kate Miller now in the lead. 10 points more or less behind is Ella Lindsay. Matild not far behind in third. And Caitlyn Fong just at the bottom of the podium here with 2 more dives to go. And I think I'd be willing to say that things are going to keep being shuffled around in this one. I see you doing calculations here.
Yeah, seeing how much it takes.
Well, because the end score is important, right, for some
Yes,
of
well,
these
for
divers
some-
that want to qualify for the rest of the season.
Yeah, they have to do at least 320 to qualify for
Okay,
World Cups here.
so we'll be paying attention at the scores at the end of the event. Lila Gokert, back 2.5 somersault pike. Round number 4. Okay, that's not too bad. Lila, I don't feel, has found her rhythm in this event so far.
She looks very nervous also.
Being at home
yeah,
sometimes,
it's
you
the
know.
thing, in front of your home crowd.
Friends and family are here. Lila went to Montreal for a little bit for some training, then came back here right at home.
She's a very hard worker.
You
I've
guys
seen her
all
dive.
are.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Okay, Caitlyn Fong, another big dive coming up for her. Back 3.5 somersault tuck. 3.3 is the degree of difficulty. Biggest dive we'll see in this event. It's another one she's been working really hard on. Nice.
Oh,
very
good.
well done. And the key for her on this one is really from the takeoff. Got to create that speed of rotation, right?
See how fast she spins?
Absolutely. Plenty of space, knows where she's
Really?
in the air. Feet go by a little bit from the vertical, but
She's not going to be mad with that.
this is one of the good ones she's been working on this week. 64.35, scores up to 7, like you said, Matt. So, but again, as we said, if you have a dive that doesn't go your way and you want to move forward, same thing. She just had a great dive. Well, there's one more to go, and she has to look forward.
You have to forget what you do and you start at 0 every time.
Reverse 2.5 tuck coming up for Matild Labair. Got to control speed of rotation on this one for her. Oh, nice.
Very close to being
Look
a
at your
perfect
face,
rip.
and if people could see it, it's because you've seen it in training completely
Oh, yeah.
disappear, right? So now the feet go by a little bit, just arching just a little bit there. But that's a difference between a 6.5 or 7 or an 8.5, right?
The hardest gap is 7 to 8. 8 is a very good dive. 8 is when you disappear. She disappeared, but she had a little bit of splash coming out.
54.6 on that one. It's not a miss. It's just,
Oh, no.
we know she can do it just a bit better. Another big moment. Back 3.5 somersault tuck here for Kate Miller. Just took charge after the last round. Oh! And that will help her be in charge for this round also. Beautiful. Solid jump, tight tuck position, precision in the come out right here.
Confident kick right there.
And that's what I like to see from Kate. I think
That's
everyone in
amazing.
this pool knows that she can do that dive exactly like
Oh,
that. 7.5s and up to multiple 8s.
Wow.
This is the highest scoring dive in this event so far. So with one more to go, just put herself in a great position to do well with the end result. Ella Lindsay. She'll be doing a front arm stand double somersault in the pike position. Six groups of dives on the tower: forward, backwards, reverse, inward, twisting, and arm stand. So women having 5 rounds, they can choose if they want to do an arm stand or not. And this being an easy dive for Ella, you still have to give it everything right here.
You see, she kind of fell off a bit without jumping.
You really gotta give that momentum, create that speed of rotation, even though it's an easy dive. Very young diver, so gaining experience, whether it's on the tower or the springboard, like we mentioned a bit earlier in the event. Okay, so Eloise Bélanger, forward 3.5 somersault pike. It's been a challenge this week for her, this specific dive, so went really well in the preliminary round. So let's see if she has another one in her. So the issue this week with this dive was that she was coming out way too late.
Yeah, exactly.
So this would seem to me to be an overreaction. So coming out of that pike position, grabbing your hands right away just stops everything.
Yeah, you have to pike open to see the water, then open, because you don't want to stop rotating right away.
Have to look at the water, adjust, even though it happens quickly. But, you know, we talked about this earlier. You know, you second guess because it was a challenge during the week. So now you're in
it's in your head.
competition and you're still thinking about that. So
You want to correct everything during competition dive.
absolutely. Here comes Julianne with a back 2.5 somersault pike.
Oh,
Nice.
that's very good.
Beautiful. Good control. Powerful jump. Overstretched a tiny bit at the end, but
I think she's ready for back 3.5.
so, okay. So now you're wanting her to add a flip, do it in the
She's
top
very
position.
strong. I feel like she has the strength to do it.
I'm sure that it will come in time, probably
That's a
sooner
good-
than later.
Oh,
in this
yeah.
Olympic cycle, right? There was about 2.5 years before we get to the Los Angeles.
Faster than you think.
Oh yes, it's gonna happen fast. One more dive in the round. Sarah Carruthers with a reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. Oh. Hearing some fans in the stands. Nice.
She saved it.
Absolutely. A little slow in the rotation for my liking. I would have liked to see a little more momentum off the top,
Yeah.
right here.
You could see she lifts her head. So when you lift your head, you're going to go, your back's going to go backwards and your legs are going to come to you.
So the tuck position is not as tight as it should be, right?
So the tuck position gets you to spit fast.
50.4 is the total on the dive. And we did mention, you know, some fans making noise. That happens, obviously. We're used to competing. Sometimes it can alter your concentration for a quick little moment. So Kate Miller still in the lead. Caitlyn Fong now in second place. Matild Labair in third. So you're looking at these numbers, and I know you're smiling right now. So just so that people understand that this is looking good for the divers aiming to have the score necessary to do all of the big events coming up in the season. Lila Gokir from right here in Calgary. Back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist pike position. Her biggest dive of the event with a 3.2 degree of difficulty. All right, just a bit missing off the top there to fully complete the dive at the end. Right here, just jumping a little quick into the twisting position, right?
She actually doesn't give herself time to jump and then rotate.
Got to give the dive the direction before you
and
get
when you
into
do
the
1.5 twists, which is like what you need to do, when you do 1.5 twists, you have plenty of time to do the twist.
Right.
So you have to focus on rotation, then you twist.
Home crowd happy with the performance here for Lila, so back to the drawing board. Same dive now for Caitlyn Fong, who has put herself in medal contention, currently sitting in second place with one more to go.
This is her dive.
Absolutely, back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist, pike position. She has everything it takes to do well on this one. Oy! We spoke about the direction. That takeoff was great, so high up in the air. Gets in that pike position fast, but kept her head in, so the body keeps rotating.
I've been telling her practice as a joke, you should add a twist to there.
Well, maybe today she'll want to be listening to you.
She's very strong when she does twists, it's crazy.
I know she'll be disappointed with the end result of that specific dive. And Iwa also knowing that there's some work to do, but that's okay, because that's what you guys do.
Oh yeah.
Get back to work, get better. And here's Matild Labair, back 2.5 this time with a half twist, so we can definitely expect Matild to add a twist to this.
Oh yes. Awesome.
In the future. Okay. You know what? You were expecting like a really perfect entry on this dive. And we mentioned the lighting a little bit before. It's getting a bit darker outside, so it's getting a little bit in the time of day that we're at here. It being almost 4 p.m. And so it gets a little darker, makes it a little bit more difficult to really see the surface of the water, right?
The sun goes down really, really early.
And fast.
What's hard about this pool is the lighting's like all in the tower and you, but not really in the water.
Right.
So it's hard to see the water.
Okay. Well, let's see if Kate Miller can solidify her lead with the back 2.5 with 1.5 twist. A very strong dive for her. Nice! Very well done.
Very good. I think I'm not going to jinx anything.
Don't go there just yet.
No.
The event's not over.
I'm waiting for the score.
But it's looking pretty good. I think she'll be happy with that.
There you go.
72 points on this one for a total of 335.3.
Great dive. That was a very good competition for Kate.
And I love the character that she showed, right? Wasn't her best first round dive, but really built herself back into this event to be the leader as we speak. So she can be really happy with that.
Very good comeback.
Ella Lindsay, forward 3.5 somersault, pike position. Aye. Head kept in at the end. Just an error of judgment, really. Good takeoff. Beautiful
That
pike
was a
position.
very good distance also.
Yep. You were mentioning before with the approach.
Yeah.
Trying to get that direction straight up. Ella did just that.
It's a confident kick.
Then when you have that almost perfect takeoff, you got to know how to react to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bit of a miss at the end here. Okay. One more to go for Eloise Bélanger as well. Back 2.5 with 1.5 twist, pike position. Aye. See, there's a common mistake happening with a lot of these divers right now, keeping their heads in, not really fully spotting the water, the surface of the water at the end. And that creates these dives going past the vertical.
Yeah, she kept her head down again. That's going to make you fall over and roll over.
Not the outcome that Eloise was expecting. And here comes Julianne with her biggest dive of the event, inward 3.5 somersault tuck.
I've seen her do this very good.
New one for her as well, right?
Yep, it's
New-ish.
pretty new-ish, but she's very strong. She could do this dive easily. Whoa,
Yes,
that's
beautiful.
very good.
You predicted it.
You can see that pike open.
Yep, great takeoff, tight tuck position. Goes through that pike right here, like you said, coming out of the tuck,
Yeah.
but to really find that vertical. Didn't quite lock her elbows.
She didn't quite go straight either. She stayed a bit in a pike.
Good enough for 57.6 on this one. But I look at Julianne's face and I know that she's hungry for more.
Oh, she wants more.
Oh, yes.
She knows what she wants to work on when she gets to Montreal.
And she's young, there's time, and the work ethic that she has is going to take her to great places.
That's for sure.
One more dive in this event. Dive that I love. Back 1.5 with 3.5 twist.
Would you ever do this dive?
I did.
You did?
Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
Back in the year 2000. Were you born then or what?
No,
Okay.
2005.
Thanks for that again. But yeah, 2000 Olympic Games. It used to be a way more popular dive to do.
The amount of
Less
control you need.
Right. Less rotation, but a lot of twisting, right? But when it's beautifully executed, it is one of the most beautiful dives you'll see. Oh, yes.
There you go.
That was a beautiful dive. And like I said, it's 1.5 rotations that you have to get going here, but the twisting has to be real fast and to stop it as well, right?
Yeah, you have to control everything.
Right here. So the
That's-
body not
wow.
fully elongated at 100%. I'm just being difficult here. But that was a beautiful dive to finish. 3.3 degree difficulty gets her 70.95 on this one.
Let's see the podium.
Okay. standings for the women's 10-meter final. The winner, Kate Miller with 335 points, .3, so far ahead before Caitlyn Fong, and look at how close it is for third place. You knew it. You were calculating points, and you knew it would be that close. So 277.95 for Caitlyn Fong, and Matild Labair's 277.4. So super close. Beautiful day for Kate Miller as the national champion. And Matt, it's been a real pleasure, my friend. I think in the future I'll have to put you to work again.
I'd be happy to.
But for now, I'll let you get some rest, because tomorrow's your time up on that 10-meter tower, and I will be watching, so will the people be as well.
I'll try to put a show on.
Okay, my man. Thank you so much.
Thank
and we'll
you.
be back tomorrow with the women's 3-meter finals as our first event, and the men's 10-meter finals later on in the day. Have a good evening, everyone.